What if I told you there's a single book so dangerous that kings, priests, and popes all tried to bury it? A book that whispers a truth older than religion itself. Not poetry, not metaphor, but a literal formula, a blueprint, for controlling energy and bending reality. This isn't conspiracy theory. It's history. In 1460, when Cosimo de' Medici, one of the richest men on earth, got his hands on this manuscript, he stopped everything. Wars, business, politics, and ordered it translated immediately. Within months, the Medici fortune doubled. Coincidence? Maybe. But Isaac Newton studied it in secret. Nikola Tesla kept a copy by his bedside. Carl Jung called it the most dangerous knowledge ever written. The book is called the Corpus Hermeticum, and inside its pages is one forbidden line that changes everything. Most translations soften it to, as above, so below. Nice, safe, easy to ignore. But the original says something sharper. That which is within you is of the same nature as that which shapes all things. To know it, and to will it, is to move the world. That's not philosophy. That's a lever. A set of instructions for shifting reality itself. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at your life, or the world around you, the same way again. The ancient origins, Egypt's hidden science. Long before Europe crowned its kings or the Vatican built its cathedrals, the deserts of Egypt held temples where priests studied something far older than religion. To the common people, the rituals looked like worship of the sun, the moon, and the stars. But behind closed doors, in chambers carved with symbols, another truth was being whispered. The universe is mind. Energy is its language. And those who master that language can shape reality itself. This teaching was carried by a figure the Greeks later called Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great. Part myth, part man, he was said to be a fusion of the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek Hermes. A sage who walked between worlds, blending science, spirituality, and philosophy into a single current of knowledge. His writings, fragments collected and copied for centuries, became known as the Hermetica. Not myths for children, not sermons for the masses, but encoded manuals for initiates. Men and women trained to guard the secrets of energy, mind, and creation. The ancient Egyptians already understood what modern physics is just beginning to confirm. The sun is not just light in the sky, it's pure energy, radiating life into every cell, every plant, every heartbeat on Earth. To them, this wasn't metaphor, it was mechanics. God's sun wasn't a man nailed to wood, but the blazing orb that makes life possible. Religion took the outer story. The initiates kept the inner science. And here's the key. They believed symbols were the only safe way to transmit this power. A myth about resurrection. A story about divine birth. A phrase carved in stone. For those without training, it was just a story. For those with the keys, it was instruction. From these temples, through Greece, into Rome, and later buried in dusty manuscripts, this knowledge traveled like a secret river under the surface of history. And every so often, someone tapped into it, and rose far above the ordinary. The Corpus Hermeticum story, the book that wouldn't stay buried. For centuries, the Hermetic writings lay hidden, copied, scattered, translated in whispers, often buried in monasteries where only a few monks dared to peek. But in 1460, history bent. A traveling monk brought a mysterious manuscript to Florence, Italy, straight into the hands of Cosimo de' Medici, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men alive. Wars were raging. Political deals hung in the balance. Cosimo was old, frail, and near death. Yet when he heard what this manuscript contained, he ordered everything else to stop. No more politics. No more diplomacy. His one demand: translate this book immediately. That book was the Corpus Hermeticum. Within 6 months of its translation, the Medici fortune had doubled. Florence, once just another Italian city-state, became the cradle of the Renaissance. Art, science, and power blooming almost overnight. Was it coincidence? Or did Cosimo use the forbidden instructions hidden in those pages? The story didn't end there. Isaac Newton, the man who unlocked gravity, filled thousands of pages of notebooks not just with equations, but with Hermetic writings. He believed they contained the key to the forces behind physics itself. Nikola Tesla, visionary inventor, kept a copy near his bed. On his deathbed, it was still there, as though he'd been studying it until his last breath. Carl Jung, the father of depth psychology, once called it the most dangerous knowledge ever written. Not because it was evil, but because it stripped away illusions of power. For centuries, the Corpus Hermeticum lived in the shadows, copied by alchemists, whispered through secret societies, guarded by elites who understood its potential. And yet, for the masses, a single phrase was all they were allowed to hear: as above, so below. A pleasant metaphor, harmless enough to print on coffee mugs. But the original text held something far sharper. The line the censors softened. The line that turned metaphor into mechanics. The dangerous translation. The line they tried to bury. For most people, the Corpus Hermeticum is summed up in one neat phrase: as above, so below. It sounds beautiful, harmless, a poetic reminder that the heavens and earth reflect each other. The perfect quote for a t-shirt. But in the older manuscripts, before the church censors polished it, the phrase is far more direct. It doesn't just suggest harmony. It issues a command. That which is within you is of the same nature as that which shapes all things. To know it, and to will it, is to move the world. Read it slowly. That which is within you is of the same nature as that which shapes all things. It's saying the same current that spins galaxies also sparks inside your chest. Not a metaphor, a statement of law. To know it and to will it is to move the world. Not believe, not hope, not pray. Know and will. Two precise actions. When joined together, they act as a lever. Push, and reality moves. This is the line that terrified kings and priests. Because if ordinary people understood it, if they truly practiced it, they would no longer need intermediaries. No priests to speak to God for them. No kings to command them. No systems to control them. It turns religion into symbolism, politics into theater, and power into nothing more than energy management. Think about what that means. Every thought you hold with conviction isn't just private imagination. It's a signal broadcast into the field of reality. Every emotion you sustain with clarity isn't just a mood. It's a frequency shaping what comes toward you. And every act of will you align with that knowing becomes a command the universe cannot ignore. This isn't a slogan. It's mechanics. And once you understand it, you can't unsee it. This is why the censors watered it down. Why they left you with, as above, so below. A phrase so vague it could be decoration. Because, to know it, and to will it, is to move the world, isn't a metaphor. It's a manual. Why the elite hide it? Scattered energy versus focused power. If this law is so clear, why hasn't everyone been using it? Why isn't it taught in schools, preached in churches, or printed in textbooks? The answer is simple. Because power depends on most people never realizing they have it. Think about how the average person lives. Their thoughts are scattered. One moment anxious about bills, the next replaying an argument, the next numbing out with entertainment. Their emotions rise and fall like static, chaotic, unfocused. That chaos radiates into the field like a broken radio signal. And life reflects it back. Random struggles, chance opportunities, a sense that the world is happening to them. Now look at how the powerful operate. Billionaires, world leaders, tech moguls. They don't leave their energy scattered. They condense it into focus like a laser beam. They begin with vision, a clear mental picture, knowing. Then they add relentless conviction, willing. That broadcast is coherent, steady, unstoppable, and reality bends to it. This is why the forbidden knowledge had to be hidden. Not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well. If enough people practiced it consciously, hierarchies would collapse. Empires would crumble. Religion, politics, and even economies rely on people feeding their energy into systems, unaware that the same current could be directed to build their own reality. The truth is, every empire has known this. That's why symbols cover government buildings, dollar bills, and flags. Why rituals echo through coronations and parliaments. These aren't empty traditions. They're remnants of Hermetic practice, encoded into the very structures of power. Meanwhile, the public gets fairy tales. They're told success is luck, or genetics, or divine blessing, anything but energy control. Here's the difference, stripped bare. The untrained, scattered, distracted, leaking energy through fear and doubt. The elite, focused, deliberate, guarding their inner state like a weapon. And when two broadcasts collide, the stronger always dominates. This is why they buried the line. Not because it was meaningless, but because it was actionable. Because once you realize that what is within you is the same as what shapes all things, you no longer bow to systems. You become a system. And that terrifies anyone who builds their power on control. Science catches up, proof hidden in plain sight. For centuries, Hermetic teachings were dismissed as mystical nonsense, whispers from dusty temples, alchemists' dreams, metaphors too vague to matter. But here's the twist. Modern science is quietly proving what Hermes wrote 2,000 years ago. Let's start with physics. In the famous double-slit experiment, subatomic particles behave like waves when unobserved, infinite possibilities all at once. But the moment someone observes them, the wave collapses into a single particle, one concrete reality. The act of observation literally changes the outcome. Hermetic law says, mind moves matter as surely as the hand moves clay. Physics agrees. Then there's quantum entanglement. Two particles linked together remain connected no matter how far apart they are. Change one, and the other shifts instantly, faster than the speed of light. What Hermes called the oneness of the field, science calls entanglement. Now look at neuroscience. Your brain is an electrochemical organ. Every thought, every feeling fires neural pathways, generating measurable electrical patterns. EEG machines pick them up. But when you add emotion, when thought and feeling fuse into conviction, those signals become stronger, more coherent. They don't stop at your skull. They radiate into the electromagnetic field around your body. This is where the HeartMath Institute comes in. Decades of research show your heart produces the largest electromagnetic field in your body, extending several feet in every direction. And it shifts instantly with your emotional state. Move from fear to gratitude, and your field changes in real time. More than that, people near you begin to synchronize with your signal. Hermes called it resonance, like influences like. Psychology adds another layer. Your brain has a filter called the reticular activating system, RAS. It decides what information enters your conscious awareness, and it's trained by your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Focus on problems, and the RAS highlights problems everywhere. Focus on opportunities, and suddenly you magically spot doors others miss. Here's the kicker. Your RAS can't tell the difference between reality and vivid imagination, which means visualization, fused with feeling, literally rewires what your brain sees as real. Physics, neuroscience, psychology, all pointing back to the same Hermetic claim. That which is within you is of the same nature as that which shapes all things. To know it, through direct experience. To will it, through focused intent. And the world moves. The priests of Egypt whispered it. Hermes carved it into dialogue. And now, the lab coats are proving it with machines. This isn't superstition. It's mechanics. The laws of Hermetic energy, the blueprint in action. Hermes never wrote these truths as beliefs. He called them laws. Why? Because like gravity, they operate whether you believe in them or not. Ignore them, and you'll feel pulled under. Master them, and you ride the current. Here are the 7 pillars of Hermetic energy, and how they play out in real life. 1. The principle of mind. All is mental. Hermes wrote, "That which is in the mind of the all is the universe." Everything begins as thought. Every building, every empire, every invention started in someone's imagination. Science agrees. Matter is energy, and energy follows information. Thoughts are information, and information shapes patterns. Winner, the investor who mentally rehearses success before walking into the room. Their tone, body language, and timing all line up. The deal closes. Loser. The same investor obsessing over failure. Their handshake falters. Their words feel defensive. The room senses weakness. Test it. Before any key interaction, hold one clear image of the outcome. Enter the room as if it's already in motion. 2. The principle of correspondence. As within, so without. The famous phrase, often diluted, but Hermes meant it literally. The pattern in the unseen dictates the pattern in the seen. Your inner state writes the script for your outer life. Neuroscience backs it. Your RAS filter shows you only what matches your dominant focus. Winner. The entrepreneur who starts the day centered on solutions. Opportunities appear everywhere. Loser. The one scanning for problems. They find them on every corner. Test it. Tomorrow morning, set a deliberate inner pattern. Calm, curiosity, momentum, and watch your environment mirror it back. 3. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Emotions are frequencies. States are contagious. Your vibration tunes your experience like a radio. Research from HeartMath proves your heart's field shifts instantly with your emotion, syncing others around you. Winner. The leader who grounds themselves with 3 slow breaths before entering a tense meeting. The room settles. Loser. The leader storming in angry. The team spikes in stress instantly. Test it. Before entering any room, decide which emotion you want to dominate. Hold it for 60 seconds. Notice how others adjust. 4. The principle of polarity. Opposites are one. Hermes. Opposites are the same in nature, differing only in degree. Fear and courage. Despair and hope. They're not separate, they're points on the same scale. Winner. The athlete who interprets nerves as excitement. Adrenaline becomes fuel. Loser. The one who calls the same feeling anxiety. They freeze under pressure. Test it. Next time you feel a negative charge, ask, what's the useful version of this? Flip the pole. 5. The principle of rhythm. The pendulum swings. All things rise and fall. Life is cycles. Breath in, breath out. Expansion, contraction. Masters don't fight rhythm. They time it. Winner. The speaker who pauses, letting silence give weight. Loser. The speaker rushing to fill gaps, bleeding authority with every word. Test it. Slow your speech and breathing in your next conversation. Watch others unconsciously match your tempo. 6. The principle of cause and effect. Hermes. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Chance is just unrecognized law. Winners don't wait for luck. They broadcast causes. Winner. The artist who plants one seed thought daily and waters it with consistent action. Loser. The artist waiting for inspiration, sending no signal at all. Test it. Tonight, decide one seed you'll plant tomorrow. Carry it in your breath practice. Act as if it's already germinating. 7. The principle of gender. Generation is in all. Hermes saw creation as a balance of dual forces. Active and receptive, seed and soil, thought and feeling. Both are required. Winner. The visionary who holds clear intent, masculine, and cultivates patience for its growth, feminine. Loser. The one who pushes without receptivity, or dreams without ever planting action. Test it. With every goal, ask, do I have both forces alive here? Intention and space? Action and receptivity? These 7 principles aren't philosophy. They're levers. And the people who use them deliberately rise above those who stumble through them unconsciously. Hermes told his students, test these laws and you will not doubt them. Practical methods. How to use the blueprint. Hermes didn't leave his students with abstract theory. He gave them practices. Simple, repeatable, mechanical steps to align energy. The old masters guarded these closely, because once you start applying them, the shift is undeniable. Here are 3 cornerstone methods. 1. The energy firewall. Sealing your field. Most people's energy field is full of holes. Stress, trauma, constant distraction, it all creates cracks. That's why their intentions leak out before they can manifest, and why other people's moods slip in so easily. Hermetic training began with sealing the field. Without this, nothing else works. The sequence. Grounding lock. Stand or sit upright. Imagine roots sinking from your spine and feet deep into the earth. Feel anchored. Breath seal. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts, filling with golden light. Hold for 4 counts as the light expands into a radiant sphere around you. Exhale for 4 counts, feeling the sphere solidify. Repeat 3 cycles. Perimeter command. State firmly, only energies aligned with my highest purpose may enter. All others are reflected back. Feel the shield lock. Mirror layer. Imagine the outer edge of your sphere becoming reflective. Anything not aligned bounces back instantly. Done daily, this firewall makes your signal cleaner and your life less chaotic. 2. The dark to light loop. Transmutation. Here's the secret the elite have never stopped using. Negative energy isn't an obstacle. It's raw fuel. Fear, criticism, setbacks. All of it can be transmuted. The process. Acknowledge. When the negative charge hits, don't deny it. Name it. This is doubt. This is anger. Redirect. Place attention in the center of your chest, your heart field. Infuse. Inhale golden light. Imagine it weaving through the dark current, raising its vibration. Project. On your exhale, radiate the transmuted energy outward. Courage instead of fear, clarity instead of anger. Loop. Repeat until the charge feels neutral. This isn't positive thinking. It's mechanics. You recycle energy instead of leaking it. 3. The golden breath switch. Projecting intention. This is the Hermetic master key. Breath is life force. When you fuse breath with knowing and willing, reality bends. The cycle. Still point. Notice your natural breath. Awareness signals the shift into conscious control. Inhale command. Inhale for 4 counts, visualizing golden light filling you. Will infusion. Hold for 4 counts. State your intention in present tense. It is done. Exhale projection. Exhale for 4 counts, imagining the golden light carrying your command into the field. Lock in. Pause for 4 counts at the bottom. Repeat. It is done. 3 cycles. 1 to set, 1 to stabilize, 1 to seal. Practice this daily, and you'll notice coincidences aligning faster, resistance softening, doors opening. These 3 methods, firewall, transmutation, golden breath, are the foundation. Without them, your energy is scattered. With them, you become deliberate. Hermetic masters never allowed students to attempt higher practices until these basics were second nature. They understood. You can't sculpt reality with a cracked foundation. The larger game, from personal power to collective influence. Hermes taught that every thought radiates, every emotion vibrates, every act of will leaves an imprint on the field. What most people miss is that the field isn't just personal, it's collective. Your energy doesn't stop at your skin. It mingles with the broadcasts of family, communities, nations. And just like in personal life, the strongest, most coherent signals dominate. This is why the few who train in Hermetic principles can influence the many who do not. Think about it. A single calm, focused person can walk into a chaotic room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. Multiply that by 10, 100, 1,000, and you understand how movements, revolutions, even empires are born. This is what the elites have always known. They encode symbols in flags, currencies, and monuments, reminders that bypass the rational mind and speak directly to the subconscious. They use rituals, ceremonies, and repeated narratives, not empty traditions, but energy broadcasts designed to tune the collective field. They create environments saturated with signals of fear, distraction, and scarcity, because scattered energy is easy to control. Meanwhile, those who master their own field, who seal it, transmute chaos, and project clear intent, become immune to collective manipulation. They stop being receivers of someone else's broadcast. They become transmitters. And here's the terrifying part for those in power. It only takes a few. History shows this pattern again and again. A handful of thinkers in Florence sparked the Renaissance. A small circle of scientists shifted humanity into the age of electricity. A few voices, broadcasting clear intent, have ignited revolutions that toppled empires. The collective field doesn't need a majority. It responds to coherence. Which is why Hermes warned his students, with great power comes great responsibility. A scattered mind creates scattered results. But a trained mind, knowing and willing in alignment, can move nations. This is why the forbidden line was softened. Why to know it, and to will it, is to move the world, was buried under harmless metaphor. Because once enough people stop feeding fear into the field and start broadcasting deliberately, no system of control can survive. The old masters called this the royal art, conscious participation in the making of reality. Not just personal reality, but the shared world we all inhabit. And the choice is always the same. Remain unconscious, scattering energy into someone else's broadcast. Or claim authorship, and begin transmitting your own. That's the larger game. And it's the reason you were never supposed to hear this. Claiming the blueprint. You've just seen what most people never will. A line buried for centuries. A law whispered in temples, hidden in archives, watered down into metaphor. That which is within you is of the same nature as that which shapes all things. To know it and to will it is to move the world. This is not poetry. It's the operating system of reality. The only question left is, will you use it? Because every day you're already broadcasting. Every thought, every feeling, every state of mind is shaping the field around you. The only difference is whether you're doing it consciously or letting others do it for you. The elites know this. That's why they seal their own fields, guard their focus, and project their intent like a beam. And that's why they keep you distracted, scattered, and doubting your own power. But now you've seen the blueprint. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So here's your mission. Seal your field. Guard your energy daily. Don't leak power into chaos. Transmute the dark. Take every setback, every insult, every fear, and recycle it into fuel. Project with breath. Use the golden breath switch to broadcast your intent into the field. Clear, deliberate, undeniable. Start small. Pick one thread in your life and move it on purpose today. The moment you see the result, even the smallest one, you'll know this isn't theory. It's law. And when you claim this power, you stop being a character in someone else's story. You become the author. So type, "I claim it," in the comments right now. That's your first declaration, your broadcast into the collective field. Then, subscribe to Wisdom Foundry. Because this is just the beginning. I'll be breaking down more hidden passages, more forbidden methods, and more practical ways to master energy and reality. And if you're serious about this path, check the link in the description. I've put together a free digital copy of the Corpus Hermeticum itself. Not the watered-down quotes. The real text. So you can read the words that started it all. Finally, if you're ready to go deeper, click the video on your screen right now. That's where we unlock the advanced practices. How to use these laws not just for your personal life, but to shift the energy of entire rooms, teams, and movements. Remember, the laws work whether you believe in them or not. The only choice is whether you'll work them consciously or be worked by them. This is Wisdom Foundry. Don't just know the rules. Use them. I'll see you inside.